Hi, Twitters. It's Evan and next videos with some comments for right now. So, we have kid comments, voice comments, annoying comments, spam comments, fact comments, gay comments, that kind of stuff. I want to talk about blocking comments. Now, blocking comments are comments people you block. So, these are basically comments, troll comments. Oftentimes, they would justify blocking somebody, because not every comment on YouTube would justify blocking the person. Now, one example that's very good, you definitely want to block people, is spam comments or scam comments. So people like the royalty-free music scammers, the people who will send you links which often contain viruses or pornography. So you definitely want to block those people. So definitely those justify you blocking the person or clicking hide this user from your channel. But aside from that, what in terms of troll comments justifies you blocking the person? So aside from spam or scam comments or phishing, that kind of stuff, not phishing as in this, but phishing as in, phishing, email phishing. So in other words, what would justify you blocking the person on YouTube? And there's a few examples. So my rule of thumb is if it's constructive criticism, as long as it's polite and courteous, as long as it's not rude, I don't block the person. So somebody might say, tobacco smoking is really unhealthy, tobacco can cause cancer, tobacco can cause heart disease, you really should quit smoking, while you're ahead, while you're so young, because I'm only 26 years old, 26 and a quarter, big ass cigar for life. So people might say that, and that just, I wouldn't block that person because that's just their opinion. When somebody gives their valid opinion, as long as they're not rude, I would never block the person. But if somebody says, hey dude, why are you smoking that stupid effing, dirty ass, like the big ass cigar tobacco, it's like, that's kind of rude. I might, if it's a one-time thing, just delete the comment. I might just delete the comment, but it's like some comments might be a little bit rude and sarcastic, like, oh, you look like you're 18 years old, 16 years old. It's like, yeah, I might just delete that comment. My rule of thumb is when people start verbal abusing you on YouTube, verbally abusing you, meaning they use actual profanity, that's where I draw the line. So if somebody calls me a FAG, somebody calls me a bitch, somebody calls me a retard, that's where I draw the line, and I automatically block the person. I will ban them every time. So people who are wondering, if you call me a FAG, you call me a bitch, you call me a retard or the R word, that is over the line, and I will absolutely block you every single time. And obviously on other comments are just repetitive. So if I don't see eye to eye with a person and I try to reason with them and they start becoming rude with me, it's like, of course I'm going to block them, because YouTube is supposed to be about enjoyment. It's supposed to be about nice big ass videos like the big ass cigar, and I don't put up with BS. I don't put up with the BS on my channel because there is no reason to put up with that kind of crap on your channel. It's like, it's one thing if somebody's giving you a valid opinion. Okay, Evan, do you realize by smoking a pipe or cigar you could get cancer potentially? You could have to go through intensive medical treatment. That's very scary to think about. But it's actually a valid opinion, very truthful. That's one thing, and believe me, I hear that from my parents also. Big ass cigar for life, nice big ass parents like a big ass cigar. And it's like, it's one thing to say something that's a little bit off color, like, oh, this channel, and believe me, I don't block people who just use profanity in general. So if somebody is just using profanity on my channel, I might say, you might want to, not use as much profanity on my channel, but I'm not going to block you. It's just if it's not directed at me, the profanity. If it's just like, you have an effing great channel, you F dude, you're the best, it's like, I'm not going to block you. I might just say, tone down your language a little bit, because my channel, while I do use a bit of bad language myself, I'm not somebody who promotes, a cursing, channel. I'm not somebody who uses a ton of bad language, even though I would like to. Big ass cigar for life. And also in recent times, YouTube is cracking down on profanity, so I want to keep my channel as clean as possible. I will say things like bitch and dick, but I won't keep it. I'll keep it about PG-13 at best, so I'm not going to ever use the F word on my channel, at least not on purpose. So that's in general. If you're swearing to be cool, I'm not going to block you. I might just say you tone down the language. But if you're being a real rude ass, like the big ass cigar, then obviously I'm going to block you. People who just troll me, who just try, and even people who don't curse at me, who don't, use profanity or derogatory homophobic language, or people who use racial, and also people who use racial slurs. That's another thing I want to bring up, is definitely, I actually have a series that I did back in 2015. You can actually look at the series, and it actually defines who I block on YouTube. And I think the main people who I block are definitely people like scammers, spammers, phishing, definitely the trolls, definitely people who write me threatening comments, that kind of stuff. So, and obviously, that kind of stuff you definitely want to block. So, I mean, if somebody is being a real, annoying ass, like the big ass cigar, you definitely want to block them. So, it's like, it doesn't matter if they're cursing at you, it doesn't matter if they're cursing at you. It's like, if they're being a real rude to you, it's like, even if they're not using profanity, of course you're going to block them because they're just being a dick to you. Big ass cigar for life. And it's like, that's one thing. Also, keep in mind, if somebody is, even if they're not using profanity, they're threatening you, obviously, absolutely, you want to block them 110%, because you never want to put a kind of verbal abuse or threatening comments on YouTube. And then there are comments I've gotten over the years, going back to the series. I can actually look it up right now. I'm not going to do it right now. But I have a series back in 2015 I made, like I said, where I discuss people who I block. And then there are people who, will write comments that really don't belong on YouTube. It's like, you'll run into some really creepy people, kind of like the smoking fetish people, and they write you really almost perverted comments. Not going to get too into it. But, that was back last year. I used to get a lot of those comments. And people would ask me a lot of really creepy shit. So, like, do you whack off? Big ass cigar for life. I mean, some really creepy stuff. So, I mean, they would ask some really creepy stuff, like sexually provocative stuff. And obviously, anything like that you want to block. You want to be careful. You don't want to give out your personal information. You don't want to give out your address or anything like that. I mean, if I know somebody and trust them, I will, let them send me free cigars. But aside from that, I don't give up personal information. I give up my first name and my age and the state where I live in, Massachusetts. But aside from that, I don't give out any personal information. So, but there are, obviously comments like, I got a comment a long time back saying, do you like little boys? Ugh. Yeah, you don't want to get into that kind of crap. So people like that automatically off my channel blocked. Also, people who just annoy you, people who say black when they say white, or apple when they say orange. I think I've used this analogy before. People who say white when you say black. It's like, people who are trying to piss you off, people who are trying to get a rise out of you, people who are trying to, piss you off, like the big ass cigar. It's like, and then there are people who are just being sarcastic ass, like the big ass cigar trolls, and are just trying to annoy you. It's like, you can pretty much detect a troll when you see one. And then there are people who have like fake accounts, spam accounts, scam accounts, and you want to stay the hell clear of those things because they're just loaded with viruses. They're trying to get you to sign up for some kind of package. Oh yeah, use our free royalty-free music. You won't get a copyright strike. And the majority of people, not giving legal advice, not a lawyer, not a big ass like the big ass cigar, but the majority of times nowadays you don't get in trouble for using music. I mean, you get a content ID and that's it. So, not giving legal advice. Don't sue me if anything happens to you. But I am telling you right now, most people don't even get a copyright strike. And you're trying to get this signed for some kind of package. Not getting into that, I already did a video about royalty-free music comments. Point I'm trying to make is those are the people who I block. It's people who are just annoying. So, and then there are people who are just idiots. And, you try to reason with them, but it's... And also, I've run into people over the years who are anti-smoking people who we just don't see eye to eye. It's like, I try to reason with them. It's like, do you realize you're inhaling lethal secondhand smoke, lethal hydrogen cyanide, lethal arsenic. And it's like, I try to reason with them. I try to say it's my choice as an over 18, over 21-year-old adult to smoke nice big-ass cigars, big-ass pipes. And it's my choice. And then, they can't accept it. I end up blocking them. Even though they're not trolls, it's just like they can't accept the fact that I'm a smoker. So, because in their mind, my smoking could potentially affect them. Oh, by the way, I got a tan. I just want to show you guys I got a tan. I'm working in the lot at Roche Brothers in Massachusetts, so I got a tan. So, but aside from that, there's also people, the marijuana smoking zealots, people who are the marijuana smoking zealots. I blocked them over the years because... they're annoying. Some of them are very annoying, like the big ass cigar. And people, a lot of them are good people. They're cool people. I don't smoke weed myself. Never smoked weed in my life. No desire to smoke weed. But it's like, some of those people can be very good people, then a lot of them can be real dicks. I mean, some of them can be really annoying people who just force their opinions on people, who try to, convert everybody to the weed smoking, whatever. It's like, whatever. I'm not going to get into a big debate about it. And then there are people who I just banned from my channel in general. It's like, oh, this video's 10 minutes, by the way. I didn't want to make this video too long. It's like, yeah, the marijuana smoking people I banned from my channel, some of them, because a lot of those comments are just like, that. Also, I remember what I was going to say. I remember my train of thought. The people who are the tobacco smoking inhaling zealots. People who literally believe every tobacco product is meant to be inhaled, even though it says clearly in many, many tutorials you are not supposed to inhale a pipe or a cigar. Those people can get quite annoying, and I have blocked those people many times because they just say, you're wasting your money, you're an idiot, dude, you're a retard, you're just wasting your money, all smoke is meant to be inhaled. It's like you end up blocking them because they're just a waste of your time. It's like, they're wasting your time, like the big ass cigar. It's like, these people are wasting your time because they're never, in their mind, and a lot of these people are also marijuana smokers. They're oftentimes cigarette smokers or former cigarette smokers, and they're trying to convince you all smoke is meant to be inhaled. So I block those people also. Anyway, give your thoughts. Bye. Big Ass Cigar for Life. That's the people I block. Anyway, bye. Blocking comments like the Big Ass Cigar. Bye. Big Ass Comments for Life.